All right. Oops. Where my damn camera at? All right. So I have made a mistake here, and I definitely do apologize. For some reason, I think it's my audio is set for a different sound, so I'm not sure if y'all can hear that. Yeah, I don't know why it's playing through somewhere else. All right. Hopefully y'all can hear me out there in the world. I don't know what the heck that was. For some reason my audio was coming through my speakers. Normally they come through the headphones. Let me make sure I got this correct. Never the who, man. Welcome in everybody. I am so glad to be here with you all. Thank you so much for showing up. I really, really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's still showing. No reason it's coming through my damn audio set. Internet. Okay, there we go. Let's try it again. Can y'all hear that? Okay. Hopefully I'm not hitting y'all with too many applause here. I'm trying to get everything straight, but I am glad that you are here. Nevertheless, man, thank you for coming in and kicking it with your boy. For some reason, I see Chris is in the building, man. What up to you? I don't know why it's not showing you on here. It's not showing you as being in here for some reason, but I can see that you are. So welcome in, good sir. Got a good show for you guys. Like usual, I have we're gonna do okay. How did we get here? Let's slow it down a little bit. All right. First and foremost, let's do a little bit of house cleaning. All right. If you can, please hit the like button. All right. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the notification and the bell so you know every time we go live. All right. There is a ticker down there if you would like to donate. That is perfectly fine. It will go towards the stream and to help some make it bigger and better, right? And I definitely do appreciate it. Matter of fact, I got another edition, which is I got another Stream Deck, which is going to be coming in handy because we're going to be switching platforms, and this platform is a lot more customizable, and it's going to allow me to be able to kind of switch scenes and do all that things that I need to do that we was doing before. You feel me? So it's going to help out tremendously, especially with sounds and stuff like that. I don't have to keep backing through pages and push. Anybody that uses Stream Deck know what I'm talking about. So you don't have to do all those things, right? I wish I could have got the 30 something keys. That would have been awesome. But I went ahead and went with that and some mics. So that's what we're doing. All right. But yeah, feel free to donate if you would like. And what else do we got going on? I think that's pretty much it. All right. So how do we get here? What is this that we are doing? It's basically like a online book club, right? Where I've had several channels before this, talking about different variations of different things. Some for the it was one for the men's podcast and one for the ladies podcast. And in that, we kind of talked about things that were kind of, in our arenas. Some of those cross over to the dating and manhood and all those good things, right? So it was like, man, we need to figure out what's going on here. How do we, what's another perspective to look at, or some other things that we may not know that may be able to progress us in this thing called life, masculinity, family, love, all the above, right? So I was like, man, let me just look it up. One of the books that came up repeatedly was The Way of the Superior Man. All right. So I was like, yo, let me go ahead. We're going to do it. I got in touch with some homeboys. They said they were down. They said they're going to come through and they're going to make it happen. So I'm grateful for that. And we've been doing it ever since, right? It was been a lot of back and forth, right and wrong and all that good stuff. But now, we're back at square one and we're making it happen and do what it do. You feel me? What's the ladies podcast? There is no ladies podcast, good sir, but thank you for the question. Bang bang. Yeah, there's no ladies podcast. Unfortunately, the ladies were super busy, man. A lot of different schedules, conflictions, and all that good stuff. So they weren't able to. I wish, those that know me and have been here for a while, I love the different dialogues and being able to learn and progress. So I would have loved for them to be able to be here and participate in the same thing. Somebody, I think it was Diz that told me that there was an opposite to the book. I ain't gonna say an opposite, but a book that kind of, instead of the way of the superior man, it was the way of the superior woman. And I would have loved to have some ladies come on and talk about that. But unfortunately, I do not have any ladies to do such. So you know, that's what it is. Hey Ashanti, what it do, what it do? Good to see you here. Haven't seen you here in a while. Good to see you here. I love my ladies as well. Yes, yes, yes. There was man, I had a phenomenal group of women, man. They just could not make it consistently. So it kind of fell to the wayside, but I was very gracious to them for donating the time that they did. Hopefully some of them be able to come back in and chop it up in what we got coming up in about a month or so. So yes, that's what happened. We got here, we focusing on the men, trying to make it happen. All right. And Ashanti, I'm glad that you're here. Hopefully you stick around for a while. I would really love to get your take on some of these things because it is geared towards the women today. Okay. Well, it's geared towards the men, but about women. All right. So I would really love to know your insight on what do you think about it. And any other woman that's out there in the comment section as well, please feel free to let me know. All right. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. Born and raised from the city of Chicago, he has traveled from the Midwest and down south to pursue his passion.
You ain't even got to do it.
Hey, none other than Mr. Diz Riz, ENT himself, man. How goes it, man? How you doing today?
Man, I'm cooling, man. They working me like a dog, man. Before I get up out of that thing, but hey. It is what it is. Yep.
Yeah, they gonna definitely gonna do that, ain't they? If they ain't gonna do one thing, they gonna definitely do that.
Man, that's true. That's true. How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing pretty dang good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm anxious to get this completed and to move on to the next chapter, which was where we originally started off at. I'm so anxious to get there, but I definitely want to give this the time that it deserves. But I'm happy to see what's gonna happen after this. But projects, man, you got any projects? Anything going on? Anything you doing?
Hey, I got everything on hold. I mean, I got some stuff dropping on the gaming channel, but it's nothing major. Nothing major right now. I got a lot of stuff on hold because I got some big things in the works that I'm working on. So just trying to make sure I get that taken care of and make sure I got all my ducks in a row, you know.
Okay, all right. Well, I know you like myself have is sticking to a tight schedule. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing rolling. Hopefully I can hear that car rolling by. Let me see. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. Anybody in the comment section, please feel free to talk to us. You can talk to us. It is an interactive thing. So if you got any questions, you want to mention something, you want to agree with something, disagree with something, please do not be afraid to do so. All right. So Steve, as you are well aware, we're on part 4, all right, of the book The Way of the Superior Man. All right.
Am I aware?
I'm pretty well. You've read the book, so I believe that you are plenty aware of where we at right now. All right, which is part 4, what women really want. All right. Now in this chapter, there's about 4 or 5, or in this part, there's about 4 or 5 chapters. Okay, that we're gonna go through. Beforehand, I used to read them all out. We're gonna kind of keep it kind of focused and talk about some certain things. One thing I am going to read out completely is what I believe is the synopsis of the chapters. Okay. And this chapter right here, and again, this is part 4, what women really want. Let me know, ladies. Please let me know if this is accurate.
I just want to say for the record, all right. This is this author's book. This is not us speaking. We're just giving our examples in regards to this shit. If you take it personal, that's your problem. That's your prerogative. This is somebody else's book that we're discussing, and we're relating our life as men to it. So if you got an issue with it, hey, Take it to church. Talk to your pastor. Talk to your priest.
Let
Don't
that
talk
man
to
cook.
somebody. You know what I'm saying?
There it is.
My bag. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to address the elephant in the room because
Hey, no.
it's been a lot of people. Okay, all right. Let me bring you up to date. So it's been a lot of people. You know, a lot of women or ladies, because all women ain't ladies, and all ladies ain't women. That's been asking about what's the podcast about. So I told them what we used to do on the Ace of Spades and so forth, and I told them that we're now doing a sort of book club, so to speak, in regards to self-help. And they were like, "What's the title of the book?" So as soon as I say The Way of the Superior Man, I'm getting questioned. I'm getting left and right hooks. What about the superior woman? That's not the book that we're reading. It's not to say that the way of the superior woman is not out there. That's not the book that we're focusing on. We're focusing on male self-help as of right now. So just to clear the elephant in the room, hey, you're scared, go to church, you want some more insight, hey, go get another book.
There it is. All right. And not only that, but I do offer if there's any women that do want to participate and to make that happen, then best believe I'm willing to make it happen, man. I think that the more information that we have out there, the better. You know what I'm saying? So if there's any women that's saying, hey man, I want, to do it, I'm your guy. You can email me at Ace of Spades podcast _ Ace of Spades podcast 22 at gmail.com. Go ahead.
No, the way that it came off, or the way that I received the question, and it seemed like it was like I was being like a male chauvinist or something like that. That's the way I perceived it. And I've never been a male chauvinist. No, never. As a matter of fact, I got 3 daughters. I got sisters. I got aunts. I got a mama. You know what I'm saying? Love my grandmas. You know what I'm saying? Never downplay women in regards to an aspect of a man being superior. It's things that men are superior in, but that's a whole nother discussion. We ain't even gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? Into that pissing contest. But I just wanted to clear that air because it was just frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Like, you judging me for the title of the book that I'm reading, but you reading fairies and all this other crazy nonsense. But I'm crazy. Okay.
Consider that air cleaned. Cleared. We in the building, man. Yes, sir. Yeah. So yeah, if anybody would like to participate, please do not hesitate. I would love to have you on. Especially if you got a group of girls that's willing to dive into it. I think self-help helps everybody. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into this thing. We're going off of, again, part 4, what women really want. All right. Chapter 29 is choose a woman who chooses you. Now, this is a pimp line right here, because I definitely remember a pimp saying, like the one that likes you. Right. So I definitely wholeheartedly agree with this. Now, the synopsis reads as follows. If a man wants a woman who doesn't want him, he cannot win. His neediness will undermine any possible relationship, and his woman will never be able to trust him. A man must determine whether a woman really wants him but is playing hard to get, or whether she really doesn't want him. If she doesn't want him, he should immediately cease pursuing her and deal with his pain by himself. That is how we starting this off. All right. Anything on that so far?
You damn right. Hey, because you're gonna end up with a life full of heartache. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up in the simp category because you're trying to buy our love versus actually having a mutual ground. I wish Gooch was in here right now. I wish Gooch was in the building. You know what I'm saying? Because I bet you he would have rolled with this one right now.
Oh man.
But the thing, my whole thing is, like you said, I can't even think of the name of the movie, but yeah. The Mac, you know what I'm saying? Project Pat even said it in a couple of lines in his songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm choosing you, but the thing is, though, is because the feeling is mutual versus you simping or trying to run out and trying to gather somebody's attention. Because the thing is, if you don't have their attention, you'll never have it, or they're going to find something that you can, monetary that you can give up, in regards to keeping their attention. But that's going to run dry, and they're going to leave you for the next one. So, yeah, I totally agree with that.
I bet that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Basically, the book starts off by saying you should consult. Guess who? Your friends. All right, ask them if they think this woman really does want to be with you, or if she really doesn't. All right. If your friends say that it is over, then it's over. All right. When she feels your neediness, when she feels that you need her more than she needs you, she will never trust your masculine core. All right. Now there are two cores here. They respond to different things. All right. So the priority of the masculine core is mission, purpose, and direction in life. All right. The priority of the feminine is the flow of love and intimacy. All right. If she feels that your feminine is stronger than hers, then she feels that your intimacy is more important. Or I'm sorry, if she feels that the intimacy is more important to you than her, then she will activate her masculine. She will want space. She will want freedom to pursue her own direction, and she will be repulsed by your clinginess. All right. You want to tap in so far?
I agree. I think we discussed that, a couple of times in regards to polarity and so forth. And, when a woman has to step in, it's like, in a sense, why do I need you? Because I'm the man in the relationship, so to speak. I'm running everything. I need my space. And next thing you know, she's staying late at work, and now you getting side swipe, you getting cheated on, because she didn't found somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or she found somebody else with more masculine traits that she's attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that we kind of, quiet as kept. I think we kind of witnessed that in real time at one point in time too. You know what I mean? Where
Big facts. Big
yeah, where
facts.
it
And
kind of
not
it
to
fell
continue.
off, and it became real braggadocious with it. All right, so the book goes on to say that you should ask your friends as mentioned before, and her friends. I don't necessarily agree with that one, but basically, if she doesn't want to be with you more than you want to be with her, then the poles will be reversed, and this is not a viable situation for a man with a masculine core and a woman with the feminine core. It is just best to move on. I definitely agree with this. I think that if you, I don't necessarily agree with talking to her friends per se, but I do believe that she talks to her friends, and I do believe if you do go to her friends, I think that they're gonna give you the real deal. But however, I don't think, especially at the older ages, I don't do the whole going to somebody else to see, what I'm saying. I'm more of a direct person, but I do think that you could ask your friends, because I think that your friends are going to be able to see from a different perspective that you may not be able to see. What do you think about this so far?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I agree with that to a degree of, if her friends are on the same page. And I'm talking about, you know, knowing what they want, knowing their worth, and and knowing what they want, and actually being honest with themselves. If they're being honest with themselves, they can be honest with anybody else. I think we talked about that in regards to being a man. If you're honest with yourself, you're gonna come off 1000%. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might come off cocky, but you know your worth, and that's the best thing. Taking care self-help, taking care of self first. So I totally agree with that when it comes to it, but they have to be on the same page. That's the stipulation. Not no just random, like, miss that's trying to mess up everybody's household type deal, and but she ain't got nothing going on in her household, so to speak. Or him, vice versa. Mr. Shit Starter, or Mr. Want to be a player, but he can't even get his bank account straight, let
Yeah.
alone, cash a check. so to speak.
Okay. All right. Shit. Definitely agree with that. So you heard what we had to say. Let us hear what you have to say. Do if you agree or disagree. All right. Please leave it in the comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right. Moving on to the next chapter. The next chapter is what she wants is not what she says. I think this is a big one right here. All right. Sometimes a woman will make a request of her man in plain English, not to get him to do something, but to see if he is so weak that he will do it. In other words, she is testing him or his capacity to do what is right, not what she is asking for. In such case, if the man does what his woman asks, she will be disappointed and angry. The man will have no idea why she is so angry or what could possibly please her. He must remain that, or I'm sorry, he must remember that her trust is engendered not by him for filling her requests, but by him magnifying love, consciousness, and success in their lives in spite of her requests. You want to touch on that before we get up in there?
I'll let you go first. I mean, I agree with it. I agree with it. But I'll let you touch on it first. I'll let you touch on it first.
All right. More to love says, hey family, it's a great seeing everyone. Yes, it is. Thank you and welcome in. You feel me? Kiki, that woman sounds like she's playing games. Wait a minute now, Kiki. Sometimes it's just sometimes how they wired. You know what I'm saying? When you gotta deal with it like that. All right. Yes, so I do think that yes, I do think that there are tests sometimes, and I do think that it's a test to see pretty much like what they said, that is see if you're standing on business or not. That's what I think the book is about to go in that direction. All right, so starts off by saying, okay, so the book, I ain't gonna give y'all the full on details here, or too graphic, but the book does tell a graphic story. Okay. But I'll summarize it for you. Basically, the husband and the wife decide to do something spontaneous. Okay, they decide to pull over in the car. All right, and they decide to pull over to the woods, get out the car. Right, the man knew and get it on. All right, do what grown folks do inside of the woods. Okay. So they doing what they doing, all right. And the guy was about to, he about to finish, all right. So he told his wife, like, stop moving. He didn't want to finish, right? He wanted to keep going, right? Basically, she said, hey man, do you do it the natural way, the way that it was intended to be. He said, all right, bet, all right. He looked over and noticed that his wife was displeased. He asked, what is wrong? She said, you did what I told you to do, basically the way that I told you to do it. She wanted to see if he would stick to what he knew was right or what she requested. You want to go with that?
I mean, in his defense, maybe he wanted to finish because he thought the police was about to pull up, for an indecent exposure or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But in that particular situation, that's a 50-50 shot. That's a 50-50. That's not the same as her putting the man in a situation of something that she would do on a regular, and she want him to do it to just to test him and see if he'll do it or not. That was like a freak accident or a freak situation, so to speak. So that's a little bit different. But I'm trying to think of like a situation where I can, where I probably would have been tested in regards to, seeing if I would stick to the code, or would I, be compromising and do it. I'm trying to think. I can't recall anything right now.
Nah, yeah. I'll be thinking the same thing as well. But yeah, so I guess, I think that it could have been a different scenario, because to me, that might have been a little bit of hot, a little bit of spiciness, you know what I'm saying? So I would have figured it would have been something of that nature, but She didn't think so. All right. So going on, it says if you are a weak man, the feminine trait of wanting one thing and asking for it. Okay. If you are a weak man, the feminine trait of wanting one thing and asking for another will piss you off. Kiki, it'll piss you off. All right. You will wonder, why don't you just tell me what you really want instead of saying one thing and meaning another, expecting me to figure it out. All right. Um, Now I have encountered some of these things of where it was like, man, I did I it was at a point where I knew that either I did something or didn't do something. And from that moment on, I couldn't do anything right. I just couldn't do. Hey, what do you want me? Did you want me to do? Okay, but I can do this, and it's like, no, I don't want it. So I can kind of understand a little bit of that, and it used to irk me. Before I knew this, it definitely used to irk me because it was like, well, you plainly said what it is that you wanted, but you still, did not want to, you know, you didn't stick to it. You switched it up, and now how am I supposed to deal with that? I'm not a mind reader. A lot of men say that one. We are not mind readers. We do not know, right? But sometimes that's the game that they play. Um, Steve, go ahead and what you got anything to put on that?
No, I'm definitely, with Kiki on that one. You know what I'm saying? Just be upfront, just be honest, with the situation versus, trying to have somebody figure it out. Because you'd never, like you said, you'd never be in the right position or be on the right side of the fence, so to speak. It's always a cloud over your head, like, damn, like, man, I messed up in regards to that, versus just telling me, what I'm saying, the sky is blue, or the sky is green. If it is, and I see the same thing, then okay, we're seeing it. But if it's not, hey, I'm gonna explain why it's blue instead of why you see green. You colorblind. We need to go get your eyes checked. What we need to do, and that's straight to the point.
Yeah. All right. So basically to wrap this up, man, the moral of the story is stand 10 tones down, fellas. All right. She won't be disappointed if she feels you are strong and clear and your true direction of your heart. And hold on. She won't be disappointed if she feels you are strong and clear and your true direction of your heart. And if she is disappointed by your deepest truth, you shouldn't be with her. Point blank, period. You dig that? Uh, time for him to get another woman, says more to love. He will never please her, or himself for that matter. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I definitely can agree with that one. But again, if as long as you got to learn to tussle. Sometimes the tussle is going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared for it. But if she can't respect you, and like you said, your deepest truth, then definitely you should leave her. I definitely agree with that. What says you disagree? ENT.
I agree with the comments. They lighting it up right now. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with them. They straight to the point. They keep it at 100.
Oh yeah, because Kiki's definitely said right on. So yeah, all right. So now this one is moving on to chapter 31 now. Her complaint is content free. I believe in this one. I wholeheartedly believe in this. Okay, gentlemen, please pay attention to this. Women are always wanting divine masculine presence in a man, regardless of their specific complaint or mood. A man should hear his woman's complaints like ringing bells and then do his best to align his life with his truth and purpose. All right. However, if he believes in the literal content of her complaint, he will immediately go off course, for the content reflects the present mood more than the careful observation of his tendencies over time. Her complaint should be valued as a reminder to get it together and perhaps as an indication as to how. But more often than not, the specifics of her complaint do not describe the real underlying action or tendencies that need to be changed. Talk to me, Steve.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. you know. Like in a sense, like with her complaint, you know, she's looking for a listening ear, you know, and if that man has a solution, hey, she's all, you know, that's a win. That's a win-win for both parties. And that's, you know, in that situation. But if the man is just like blowing it off, you know, and not attending to her, she gonna find that attention somewhere else.
All right, all right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what they're saying here, because I definitely do think that if your woman starts, we call it, some men may call it, I ain't gonna say we, but some men may call it nagging, right? If your woman is nagging, and I think I mentioned this in some podcasts before, um, it means that something is not present. Either she's not feeling heard, respected, loved, cherished, whatever it is, it's lacking. Now, what we as men do is we hear, and they're talking about the content of what she's talking about. So it may be, actually they have I think they have a story time in here. Yeah, I think they got a little story time in here. But basically, whatever they're talking about, the content of what they're talking about, if it's upsetting them, it's because maybe you didn't show up in a certain way. It may come off as, you know, you didn't take out the trash, right? But the underlining thing may be like, you're not reliable. I don't feel that you're reliable, right? So it's imperative on us men to be able to hear, and be able to listen, not to react, but to respond, right? So we can actually decipher what it is that's being, you know, the noise, and understand what the underlining issue is, that's going on. Kiki says, right, because when I want to talk about my day, I want to be listened to. I understand that. I definitely understand that. All right, so now book goes on. All right, so your man says, I think this is story time. How can you spend oh no, your woman. All right, so your woman is talking about how can you spend so much time in front of the TV, and our rent is due in a few days. All right, you're behind on your car payments, and you just lost your job. Right? He might be like, "Don't worry about it. I got it. Right? I have a job. I got an interview tomorrow." Right? She gonna be like, "Well, why didn't you get off your butt? You said you were going to clean out the garage a week ago. I can hardly get the car, or I can hardly get into the car," right? He might say, "Okay, okay. All right, woman, look, I'll clean the garage this afternoon." Okay. Uh she might be like, I can't take this anymore, right? She might well out a scream, right? You might say, "What? I said I clean the garage. What's going on? What's the big problem?" You wonder. I just can't take it, she cries out. All right. Now, pulling away from you, closing up, and not letting you touch her. Okay, that's the scene. All right, scene. All right, the thing your woman is complaining about is rarely the thing that she is complaining about. It is a mistake to believe that the content is what she is saying, then respond to her complaints point by point. All right. Um, basically, because you're gonna try to lay it out, it's not gonna work, because you're attacking basically the wrong thing. All right. So the book goes on to say the deeper issue is, that you didn't do what you said you were going to do, like I was mentioning before, right? That's the real issue, is that you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You gave her your word and you didn't follow through. She can't trust what you say, and this hurts her deeply. Um, so with that, I wholeheartedly agree, because we as men are very chronological, right? We go in order of this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. A lot of the time, a lot of the ladies are very emotional with the situation, right? So it's not more so what happened, is what they feel happened, right? So how can you argue with feelings, right? Because I can say 2 + 2 is 4, and I can show it to you, and this is how it's 4. But if Steve says I feel like it's 5, well, how can I combat your feeling? You know what I mean? So I think that that's what makes it a little bit difficult, in these type of scenarios, and why it's very imperative, to follow some of the things that were said previously in the books on how to calm yourself, calm your center, And so that way you don't get shaken by what you think the content is or what you think the complaint is, and you're able to focus more so on what the real issue is. I'm gonna get the Kiki and then I'm gonna hit you up. Dizriz. Kiki says, right, I can't trust nothing you say if you never stand on your word. Exactly. What do you say as you Dizriz?
And I say, like, a better take of it would, just try to be prompt with it. Maybe he was doing something or whatever, or just got in from work, wanted to take a shower or something like that. Whatever, right? Or wanted to eat, whatever. But she can't get in the vehicle. Maybe she work nights. Hey, just take 5 minutes, clean out the area, clean out the little space. Clean it out more. Where there's nothing obstructing her. Her way of moving to the vehicle, and then you good. You got a happy household. You can sleep well that night, But I get it. Not every time you can just jump at, a question or, an issue that's being asked. Sometimes you need to come back and revisit that. But like he said, losing that trust in that relationship, that's a real big thing. Once you lose that trust, it's hard to get back on that pedestal. It's like everything else. They side eyeing you on everything else, because you done lost that trust.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, in his case, especially just sitting around not doing anything, I think that it really it's really gonna really turn that knife a little bit more to aggravate her, because she's already like, she's already building up. She's already, you know what I mean? It's already there. So she's waiting to explode on that one. So yeah, I definitely can understand how it's important to kind of, you know, listen to respond and not to react. So to better help you understand what's really going on here. All right. So that was the last of that one. Now again, you heard what we have to say. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say. Whether you agree or disagree, leave it down in the comment section. All right. And please like, share, and subscribe. I feel a sneeze coming on. I'm trying to push through it. All right. So chapter 32. All right, we're gonna move on to the next chapter. And again, for those that are just joining us, it is The Way of the Superior Man, is the book that we're talking about right now. All right. Feel free to get a copy and check it out. All right. Okay, so chapter 32, she doesn't really want to be number one. She really doesn't want to be number one. Is that true, ladies? Before I get to reading this, is there any ladies out there that don't want to be number one in your man's life? Is there any? I would be curious to know, man. What do you think? You think women want to be number one in their man's life?
I can see that. I mean, it's hard to combat the mother, but what if her and the mother her and his mother have a unique bond, where, and the mother then gave her son to her. That's a different situation, where you don't see it too often. I know in my family back in the day, it was always issues, with the women, and they was always bickering and going at it with their others' boyfriends and spouses and stuff, because the mamas was still trying to be solely in that boy's life, or that man's life, so to speak, and there's nothing wrong with her being there, but it's just a matter of just moms knowing their place, especially if you're married. They can't dictate everything in this household, because now it's two, because we're married, not one.
Yeah, okay. All right. Will said, Kiki says, if he has kids, then I understand not being number one. Okay, all right. I can see that. All right. So the synopsis reads as follow to this chapter. A woman sometimes seems to want to be the most important thing in her man's life. However, if she is the most important thing, she feels her man has made her the number one priority and is not fully dedicated or directed to divine growth and service. She will feel her man's dependence on her for his happiness, and this will make her feel smothered by his neediness and clinging. A woman really wants her man to be totally dedicated to his highest purpose and also to love her fully. Although she would never admit it, she wants to feel that her man would be willing to sacrifice their relationship for the sake of his highest purpose. Um, what do you say about that?
I feel that. I feel that can put pressure. They could put pressure on him, on her. But in a sense, there's always a but to it. In a sense, maybe he's trying to get to learn her even more. Maybe he's trying to, maybe in the past he never put the woman first, and that's how he lost his last relationships. So maybe he's trying something new. They can be intimidating, but I think if he explained that, and they have a mutual understanding in the beginning, I think that can be helpful, but it still could put a lot of pressure on her because maybe she's not used to being number one. You muted E.
Man, I love to do that. I can definitely see what you're talking about, man. I can see where you're coming from on that one. I definitely do think that, again, what they ask for is not necessarily all the time what they want. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is one of those cases. All right. Oh, we get another story time. All right. There's another story in the book where they talk about to kind of help drive this point home. All right. Imagine that a man must go off to war. He hugs his woman goodbye. He is crying. Please don't go, she begs. You know that I must, he answers. They look at each other deeply in the eyes. You know that I love you, he says to her. Yes, I know. And I also know you must go, she replies. And in another gush of tears, bursts from her heartbroken face. All right. Now, this exaggerate is a little bit of an exaggeration of a dramatic scene captured. But it has the energetic principles. Although a woman seems to want to be the most important thing in your life, it is actually, or she actually can trust and love you more if she is not. A man's highest purpose is his priority, not his intimacy. All right. The book goes on to say if a woman has become the point of your life, you are lost. You may take on your woman's purpose because they are stronger than yours. So basically, it kind of the polarity flips a little bit. All right. Let's see, Kiki. I would like to be number one in his life. I don't think I will feel smothered as long as he has a life of his own, just like me. Yes, so I think that kind of speaks to what was being said as far as his purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I think that the idea could be attractive to have, your man, that mommy. Thank you too, mommy. My sister always says that. But you got your man hugging you, holding you, and you guys are spending time. However, in the real world, we got things that need to get done, things that need to happen, things that we need to make shape, right? And if he's constantly on you and he's not moving and making the move, then you become the man essentially, because now you're making all the moves, he's not bringing in anything. And I think most women, not you, I think most women might view the relationship through a different lens. I think that's when you'll probably get your woman that's more tired, that's more worn out, that's maybe she used to like to cuddle, maybe she don't really want to cuddle as much. You know what I'm saying? So I think for some women and some men in those type of scenarios, if he's not on his purpose, I think that it could cause friction, and some it couldn't. And in some, when I believe that if he is on his purpose, I think that it could enhance you guys' emotional bond as well, right? I think that it's a more, you would respect him more, you would love him more, you would cherish him more, especially since he's not always up under you as well. Right, follow your purpose. Exactly. I dig that. I dig that. This Riz, man, what do you got to add to that?
Like you and Kiki said it all. I totally agree with that. Especially, I never been never say never. I do have my times where I just want to be lazy and don't want to do stuff, but I never been the type to not or like put stuff off for so long where I don't eventually come around and get into it. Work the full day, you tired, you put it off to the weekend and you follow up and you knock it out. And that's always been my key, to make sure I put it in front of me and knock it down so I can move on to the next, but if I'm not doing anything and my other half is doing everything, I feel like I'm not, what's my purpose? What is my purpose? And I got stuff to do. So I feel that I shouldn't do everything, but things that I put forth, I should be taking care of. If I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. That's just me.
Yeah, agree. And I think that'll help. Especially if you say you're going to do it and you're going to do it. I think that'll also increase the bond because you're trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? And you stand on what you say. So I definitely agree with that.
Or at least like with that trustworthy statement. I'm not gonna get to it today. Just explaining, and it's not kissing the ass or being scary or nothing like that. Look, I got XYZ going on right now. I can't get to it today, but this Saturday I'm off. I knock it out. And that'll calm the storm, or calm the waves in the sea, so to speak. Before that storm hits you, because like we said earlier, that it was brewing. So like you said with the butter knives, she was waiting for an issue, and just to calm that situation down. That's what I would have did, just to keep it cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, now y'all heard what we had to say. I can't wait to hear what you guys had to say. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. All right. Also, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. All right. All right. So we're gonna move on. All right. This is another one. I had to learn. Okay. We're going to chapter 33. Your excellent track record is meaningless to her. Okay. I had to learn this. I thought I was saving up some coins, you know what I'm saying, just to find out I ain't have nothing. So when I went to go make that purchase, it did not happen. All right. So the synopsis of the chapter starts off like this: a man's track record means nothing to the feminine. A man could be perfect for 10 years, but if he's an asshole for 30 seconds, his woman acts like he's always been one. The feminine responds to the moment of energy, forgetting her man's history of past behavior. A man's past behavior is irrelevant to his woman's feelings in the moment. All right. But men base much on another man's history of behavior, so they think their track record should count for something, but to a woman, it doesn't. You want to tap on that before we step in there?
Man, bump that pedestal. And you go keep jumping. It's like the commercial with the carrot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You better try.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Yeah, gotta be quicker than that. Better try harder next time. I mean, it's cool. It's cool in the dating realm. It's cool in the dating game. But once you put your truths out, you know where each other stands, and they know where you will fall short, where they will fall short. You chose to be with each other, you chose not to be with each other, but if you chose to be with each other, you're gonna be together regardless if you truly love one another. Some people do go for the seasons or just for the moment or whatever, but they wasting their time. But like you said, when we get older, you're not trying to waste no time. You're trying to get straight down to business. So that's all I can say in regards to that.
All right, well said. Yeah, I definitely I think that, yes. Look, fellas, if you think that your good deeds are going to count later on down the road, they are not. They are not being tallied. They are not being watched. They're not being remembered. All right. So the moment you slip up, if anything happens, it's going to be as if it always was like that. And again, I think it's because, like he says in the book, that it's based that their emotions, the feminine responds to the moment of energy. However they're feeling in the moment is as if it happens or if it's always like that because they feel so intensely. That's the reason why it feels like that. So we're gonna get into it and see what else they got going on. I believe your track record does count for something, but I can only speak for me. Yes, and you know what? I don't agree. I don't disagree with you, Kiki. I do believe that some women they may be able to recognize it and see it and be like, okay, it was just, it's not always like that. So I definitely do think that it's some of them, but I do think that there's a majority of women who don't see it that way. You do one the wrong thing, and that's who you were always in every scenario that they've known you. So I do think that,
but that's funny though. That's just a way of life in general though. You can be the most perfect person. Well, nobody's perfect, but you can go, be the most modest citizen, right? But let you do something wrong. That's what people will remember you by. The negativity, not the positive. That's just a way of life.
well, I think if you're looking on a larger scale, I think yes. But I think if you're looking person to person, I think that we will, as men, I think we'll weigh it out, right? I think that if
It's something that
you
ain't way out though.
well, I think that if you've trained and given me your 100% at a job, and one day you have a bad day, I wouldn't fire you because of that one day, right? I would say, okay, he didn't meet the performance that he's normally at, but he's normally at such a high performance that supersedes everybody else. That how could I dare? Why would I dare penalize you for one wrong mistake when you've been perfect or damn near perfect, way above expectations, exceeding way above expectations? I think that most men would be able to see the totality of it, versus being like, oh, you're always that way, or this is how you always been, for the most part. More Love says that goes both ways. It is natural reaction that the negative action stands out very hard, and um correct it is remembered. um yeah, I can definitely see that. You may not fire me, but you don't forget the negative action I did. um and again, I think that because I think that as people we sometimes go to the extreme, right? I'm not even thinking in the extreme, right? I'm not thinking you burnt down my building, right? I'm just thinking you underperformed. So maybe, something was going on. I wouldn't discount that against you, especially if you were always exceeding, right? So I don't want to go down the hole of like, it's something catastrophe, like some type of catastrophe that you did when you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Where it just could just plainly be that you just weren't on point like you normally were, right? If I've always come to you and you've had a listening ear for me for the longest, and one day you got a bad day, you just didn't have the time, I wouldn't hold that against you, because yeah, I initially might feel some type of way, right? But looking at the totality, I would not hold that against you. You know what I mean? And I think that's I think that right, I agree. I think you agree with me. I'm gonna say you agree with me. I don't know who you agree with. I'm gonna say it makes me feel good. Okay. Uh Kiki. But yeah, I think that again, I think that for us it would be now there is a little we got a lot of stories on this in this part right here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and break it down. It says story time. All right, it has been a tough and late day at work. You finally come home and your woman is upset. You forgot that you were supposed to have dinner with another couple that night, and the time has passed. Your woman is furious. All right, you say, "I'm sorry, I'm late, but this was an unusual day." All right, that's what you say. I haven't worked late for months, but I had to today. You probably can't even remember the last time I forgot a date together we planned. I hardly ever forget these kinds of things. Well, you did today, and that's what counts, is what she'll say. All right. There is no use trying to mitigate her anger by referring to your great track record. To the feminine, history is irrelevant. What counts is the feelings in the moment. Um, I definitely, I think that that's true, right? I think that you can constantly show up. Oh, Kiki, come on now. I thought we was here, Kiki. Uh, yes, I was saying I agree with you. Oh, okay, okay. Appreciate it. See, I knew we was here. I knew we had a special bond. I do agree with that though, because I do think that again, you can it doesn't the record doesn't matter. A lot of times is really how they feel. And if they feel as if they've been wrong, then that's all that matters. They feel like they couldn't depend on you. It doesn't matter how many times, for most women, of how um they were able to depend on you, but this time was the time that they really depended on you, it seems, and you let them down. um so it's all about the feeling and the motion, or in the moment. What do you got to say about that, Steve?
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially when it comes to that passage, like, that was a compromising relationship. She understood, and she was able to see past that negative. He ain't worked long, in many months, and all of a sudden he had to work late today or whatever and miss the dinner. But still, I'm trying to be on my Will stuff. I've been listening to my Will Smith CDs. I'm trying to stop cursing. As much, I'm trying not to get banned off of social media, so y'all bear with me. But um yeah, that was a good example. I like that example. She didn't stick or harbor on the negative. She was able to look past that, and like more than Love said, with that strong relationship, able to look past it and keep going. And next time we'll just link up with them then.
All right. All right. For now it talks about us men. The book goes on. It says, for you as a man, it is probably easier to forgive and forget an occasional mistake made by another man who has a great track record. Right. That's pretty much what we were talking about before. Now this is great advice. I don't know why I put it's great advice, but please pay attention. All right. Instead of getting angry, that's why. Because instead of getting angry because she is so upset that you made one little mistake in a long series of successes, instantly shift the energy between you. All right. First, remember that history is irrelevant, fellas. All right, when it comes to the feminine. So do something to shock her with your love. Make her smile and laugh with your humor. All right, lick her neck, whatever you guys are into. All right, lift her off the ground in an emotional slate, and the emotional slate will be wiped clean. Okay, this is the biggest advice that I could give to you gentlemen, because it works both ways. All right, so as easily as she can attach to an emotion, she can attach to another emotion. And I've done this firsthand. So believe me, I know what I'm talking about. All right. When you see her getting riled up, don't get wrapped up in it. Okay. I have this thing where I say, I do not let other people's problem become my problem. All right. Now, it is your woman, so you do have to listen to her, right? In order to understand what's really going on. But believe me, guys, it's about action. It is not about words. I got people who I know will talk women to death. I tell them, don't talk to these women. Show these women, right? Do an act, do something to get her out of this emotion and into this emotion. It is very, very easy to do, because most of the time, what happens is we get overly invested into an argument that we don't even really care about. It just becomes a scoring contest of I'm gonna be right, or it becomes you're gonna hear what I have to say. Relax, breathe. You guys are not even gonna remember this conversation a year, 2 years, 10 years down the road. Don't let that be the defining factor of your relationship. Learn to let go of some things, and when you notice that the energy is off, be able to have the strength to change it. It is so easy. Couple of kisses, like you said, lick her neck, lift her off the ground. You know your woman, tell a joke, make her smile. It is so easy. All right. That's some real advice right there. Okay. Let me see. I think Kiki, did I read this already? He can just make it up to me and I would be okay after that because he mostly shows up. So that's what's up. Okay, that's for the comment for the topic before. Because what happens wasn't his fault. So I can easily forgive that. Okay, hey, I'll rock with that. All right, if that's what you're able to do, then you are running laps around the competition. Ain't even no competition. You feel me? Because I don't think that a lot of women would possess the ability to do that. I think that it takes a very special skill. Because I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who it was, but I was talking to somebody about how they got to. I think I was on TikTok or something, but the lady was talking so like it was great. Her point of view was wonderful on like self-help, and and how she deals with her man in her relationship. And I just was like, how do you get there? How did you get there? And she really just said it just took work and to get there and to make that happen. So it seems like you've done some type of work to become to be where you're at. Um as well. All right, I agree with you. I appreciate it. What says you, this is ENT?
Hey, I agree with the panel. No, I agree with it. I agree with it. I definitely agree. And like, like what Kiki was saying in regards to like, showing up all the time, that 1 or 5%, that you missed, you can make that up. But as long as you're showing up, you're gonna keep that trust in that relationship and keep it growing.
Well said. Well said. All right. Now you heard what we had to say. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Please let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. All right. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the last. This is the final. I know it, man. This went by quick. This is the final. It used to take us like when I was reading the whole thing, it took us like 2 hours to get through 2 chapters. Now we flying through them. So now we're on chapter 4. All right. I'm sorry, not chapter 4, chapter 34. She wants to relax in the demonstration of your direction. All right, fellas, this is for you. All right. Pay attention. I mean, it's all for you, but pay attention. All right. A woman must be able to trust you to take charge if she relaxes her own masculine edge. This is true financially, sexually, emotionally, and spiritually. The man doesn't have to actually do all the work, but he must be able to steer the course if his woman is going to relax into her feminine without fear. You want to take a stab at what this is where this is heading?
I can see I can see what it's saying though. In regards to a woman being able to trust a man to take charge, because the thing is, if the man is not taking charge solely or fully, now she has to step up. I think we just talked about that. We just talked about that. That she has to step up. So now, what I'm saying, her interest is not in him because she has to pull all the weight. And that's not the role of, I mean, some households are like that, but I don't know how well they work out, when the woman is solely working and the husband is sitting on his ass not doing nothing. I just don't know. See, I've been listening to my Will Smith CD. Need to stop cursing. But but yeah, I just I don't understand. Like, I never seen it. I never seen an example of that solely working out. Maybe Oprah and Stedman, but that's a diamond in the rough. That's a diamond in the rough situation. or what's his name? Ain't that his name, Stedman? But
Yeah, I
anyway,
think so.
that's the only situation that I can think of. But but if if you working it out and you managing stuff, like she, you have that trust factor where she can trust you in any aspect, and it helps keep the relationship flowing, and builds that strong relationship.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. I think that it's probably going in that direction of where, just uh like you said, taking charge, taking the lead on things. And that's not just, that doesn't mean like discounting her, right? Or what she has to say. It's just mainly just
Because
you know,
she might be able to balance the checkbook better with the leisure versus you just going off of just swiping the card, swiping your debit card and remembering, oh, I got $50 in the account, I spent 10 a day, so I got 40. You know what I'm saying? She might
yeah.
be better with that. So having that aspect of it and actually trusting her, that creates that strong bond where I know she's better with this, so I can rely on her with that, but I'm better over here and I can do XYZ and y'all can meet in the middle.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, Marcus, I agree. A woman would like to be able to feel safe and secure with you, says Kiki. Kiki also backdoored that one and said, right, I'm not trying to pull all the weight alone. Definitely agree with that, Kiki. Yeah, I definitely do think that again, I think you show up. I think you show up when you're supposed to show up, how you're supposed to show up, and take away some of those things. I think that, especially in modern times now, there are more women in the workforce than there's ever been, right? So with the workforce do come a sort of masculine cloak that you would have to put on in order to navigate within that realm, right? So I think that when she comes home, if things are taken care of, I think that it allows her to relax into her feminine and become soft, um, or more feminine in the relationship, because she doesn't have to worry about anything, right? And I think that that can come from really just anything, right? Like instead of saying, "Hey, what do you want to eat?" you just have something ready to eat, right? And I get, look, ladies, in the comment section, let me know, would you want a man to say, "Hey, what do you want to do this afternoon? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?" Or would you rather have a woman say, or would you rather have your man say, "Get this dress, this shoes, be ready by 7. We heading out." Which one would you rather have, the first or the second? I guarantee a lot of women will probably say the second, right? Because they don't necessarily have to think. They don't have to use the masculine traits. They can just relax into the femininity, right? So the book goes on to say, simply put, if your woman has a more masculine sexual essence, she will prefer to be in charge of the direction of your lives most of the time. But if your woman has a feminine sexual essence, there will be times that she would like to wait she would like to relax and let go of being in charge, right? But I must warn you, if at any point she believes that you are unable to lead, she will have to take charge again. She won't be able to relax into her feminine, right? Um, Hold on, I'm gonna see what Kiki said here. Said you also make some good points too. Diz Riz ENT, man. He making all the good points, man. What do you think about what do you think about this right here?
I think that's unfair to her. That's unfair to her, having to pull the weight. Like we have a woman in the comments right now, that's saying that she don't want to pull all the weight. No woman wants to pull all the weight, or they feel that they can just be by themselves, or it. I, me personally, I feel that the man should pull all the weight solely. Now, having the woman, having his mate, his woman pull some of the weight is definitely good. It takes the pressure off. It takes the weight off of his back. But solely, he should be the one making things happen. So she don't have to stress and worry about that because, like we discussed before in the past, When men go straight to the point, women deal with emotions and all these other things. You know, you don't want her getting emotionally attached because that's going to be emotionally damaging to your relationship if she's solely taking care of everything. You know, it's like, what's the point of us even being together? You know, so I really that's what I really believe, because I never seen where a woman solely, you know, would keep a man around, you know, in a relationship if she's doing everything and he's just sitting on his ass playing Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never seen that. I never seen that example.
That shit does happen. It does happen.
Will Smith CD.
Would I be able to say both? Yes. Says Kiki backdoored it with, because I don't mind picking the date. Sometimes picking the date sometimes, and sometimes I enjoy being surprised. Yes. Which one would you like more? Kiki. Yeah, we'll put you on the spot now. Yeah, no, I definitely think that most women probably would identify with the more feminine sexual essence. So I think that most of them would rather relax and not have to be on the think all the time. But I think that it is important, and that's where it comes a little bit iffy, of where sometimes, because I've had that happen to me, of where I was like, okay, you're good in this area, you do this, but it kind of backfired on me because it was almost a indication to her that she would have to take on a lot of other stuff as well. So it kind of backfired because that was my intention, or that's the reason, that's the way that I looked at it from, but it didn't translate to her for some reason that way. It translated to, now I got to figure out all this shit. So I had to figure out how to pull her up out of that, to not be so twisted in that as well. Christian Ross says, I agree. Hey man, welcome in the building, man. Mr. Trappy himself. But yes, be warned, man. If you do fall off, she will step into the masculine. All right. And she will feel that she would have to lead. So, you know, and again, keep remembering, fellas, the emotion is based off of the moment. So you can turn those things around just by simply doing what you need to do to reverse that feeling and to make sure that you show up in a way that needs to be. All right. And lastly, this doesn't mean you need to boss her around. I think I said that earlier. It means you need to know where you are heading and how you are going to get there in every way, including financially, spiritually. All right. Financially or spiritually. If she feels you're lacking in your financial clarity or spiritual clarity, she will not be able to relax with you. She will automatically begin directing her own life and probably yours too. All right. So stay on your grind. All right. So yeah, I definitely agree with this, man. I think that it is important for you to make sure that you know, number one, you're not bossing her around. All right. She is a valuable person inside of your relationship. Value what she has to say, but again, stick to your purpose. But don't reject everything that comes in. Make sure you're listening, because it may be something that is valuable as well, right? So make sure that you don't dismiss her. You're listening to her, and you're also on. And this is why I think, Steve, I think this is very important to be purpose driven, because all of these things kind of align and fall in place financially or spiritually when you're on your purpose and on your grind, right? So I think that this also makes it easier for her to relax, because it's 1, 2, 3 less things that she would have to worry about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think so. And all right, Kiki says surprise dates. That's what I'm talking about, girl. Just get your heels, get that dress on, and meet me at the front door. Yeah. All right. Miss Shanti says, hey, favorite brother. And okay, Trap. Okay. I thought that was at Steve. I was about to get upset. And she doesn't want to make me upset. Okay. Mr. Trap himself says surprise date is always a win. Okay. I took my lady to make candles and drinks wine together last week. That's what I'm talking about right there, young brother. Sub favorite sister. You don't have to acknowledge her. Kiki says that sounds great, Chris. Yes, it does. That sounds like a man of action right there. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, favorite cousin. Okay, she's trying to. You know what? It's the end of the show. It's the end of the show. What do you think about that last passage?
Hey, which one?
Don't boss her around.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's 2024. You know, this ain't 1946, 1956. You know, things has changed. Now, being a boss in your own right in regards to handling business is different than just bossing, you know, because you can be a boss and a leader at the same time versus just being a boss and not knowing what the hell you're doing. I don't even know if I just made sense, but I'm trying to get to a point. My point is, you know, lead your relationship as a man, lead your relationship to the better, not, you know, not crippling it by just bossing and telling her what to do. You know, she was like, I got a daddy. Or you know, I don't have a daddy again. You know, I don't have a daddy no more, so I don't need to listen to nobody, you know, so to speak. So, and that could just cripple the relationship with just bossing her. So just, you know, keeping a cool head and showing her we should do this versus telling her, you know, it can be received in a better manner.
Man, I definitely agree with that one, man. And now you heard what we have to say. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say. Okay. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. And with that being said, I would love to thank the comment section for coming through. Doing our thing, man. I really, really do appreciate you all, man. And a big one for Steve. Riz in the building, man. Thank you for coming through, like always, being a man of his word, man. You know what I'm saying? We started this, we're gonna finish this thing out. All right. Everyone who may be in position might not have leadership qualities. Agreed with that one. And give that one up for I'll give that one up to Trap, man. That was well said. Well said. Thank you all for coming through. Thank you all for everybody who came in the comment section, said something. Thank you everybody that watched it. Thank you to everybody that liked it, liked the stream as well. Any new subs, whoever, appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being here. Got another night Diz. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Thank you all again for coming through. I really, really do appreciate it. Before we get out of here, Mr. Diz Riz himself, man, ENT in the building. You have anything for us before we get out of here?
Man, everybody enjoy the rest of this week.
All right.
It's starting to get cool out there, man. I guess, well, over here in the Midwest, not down south, over here in the Midwest, the center of the United States. Yes, it's supposed to be in the high 70s, like low 80s, coming up like towards this weekend. So I will be out there cutting grass. Yes.
Yo, it's reaching hundreds around here, so it's a little crazy. Great commentary, guys. Thank you so much, Kiki. Thank you, man. You made it live, man. Everybody in the comment section, you guys made it live. I really do appreciate you guys, your inputs, your opinions, everything, man. I really do appreciate it. Warzone says, Mr. Chris, we might be able to get a few in, man. We might be able to get a few in for the night. But again, thank you to Steve. Thank you to everybody in the comment section for coming through, showing out, man. I really do appreciate you guys. Until next time, man, y'all be safe. You feel me? Peace.